Hello, this is Evan Rogerson, I'm Motorgang here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be grading a notebook. So, first things first, this is not for an official competition, so this is not a violation of confidentiality in the guide to judging. I posted in the Robot Notebookers Discord server if anybody wanted me to grade their notebook for a YouTube video, and this team, 30,000S, said that they wanted me to. And I double checked with multiple members of the team, they are aware that this is being uploaded to YouTube and they wanted to be roasted to the world, as I think one of them put it. So basically, I'm just gonna go through and grade this on the new notebook rubric, just to kind of give you guys an insight into how a judge will go about grading an engineering notebook. I have not looked at this notebook much before. I briefly skimmed it for less than a minute, basically just making sure that it's fully developed, which I think it is. They'll at least score non-zero in all the categories. And yeah, I'm just gonna time myself for 15 minutes to go at it because I think the guide to judging currently recommends 10 to 20 minutes for notebook grading. So I'm just going to go at it for 15 minutes and fill out the rubric to the best of my ability just to kind of show you guys what that looks like from a judging perspective. Because I've judged signature events, I've done worlds, so I have plenty of experience here. So yeah, basically just trying to give you guys some insight. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more like this. As I know there are a fair number of teams that also wanted me to do this for their notebooks, but I'm just going to start with one team for now. So if you do want to see this continue as a series, definitely make sure you show your support down below. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start my timer for 15 minutes now. All right, so very first thing, we got title page. I'm not seeing an innovate form real quick. Let me just do a quick control F. All right, so I do not see anything for the innovative form, so we will not be nominated for that award. Table of contents looks fine. I'm going to go straight to identify the problem. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I never read letter to the judges. All right, so it looks like that pinkish color is what I'm looking for identify. Um, Let me just see. Okay, game analysis, and that's that pink. All right, so first thing here looks like we got some standard basic information. Let me just check out their citations, make sure those look good. That's a deleted slide for that citation, so it doesn't look like their citations are quite proper. Might be missing some stuff there. Maybe Appendix A. Oh, it does look like they have the proper citations there. Um, yeah, that looks like it is everything in the student-centered guidelines. All right, so citations are good. Looks like basically that's just fluff. All right, now we actually have some content there. Yep, looks like it's cited again. Although still not quite hyperlinked. All right, so this just looks like YAP, nothing important there. All right, so we have a small amount of analysis, lightweight and small. Maybe bigger robots is what they're going for, but mostly just YAP there. I'm mostly looking for strategies or analysis, and then also those goals and then criteria and constraints. So I'm not seeing a whole lot right there. This is mostly just YAP. Um, so yeah, still not seeing a lot of actual analysis here. Um, all right, so it looks like game manual update. Um, yeah, it looks like they're just, but there's no analysis here. Like they're just stating that they changed the size. So fine. Okay, here's some actual stuff. Um, Scoring at how valuable it is to fill up a long goal. Looks like that's a center goal. All right, so let's see if they talk about that in a bit more detail. Yeah, so they're kind of equating park to some other things. That's somewhat useful. Don't care about that. All right. Oh, criteria and constraints. Okay, actually, just constraints. I don't see criteria here. Um, and these aren't the most detailed constraints. They don't have any sources there. Um, and then goals. Let me just see if I see any goals here. Um, it looks like that's moving on to other steps. Goals. Um, oh, goals is searching up the goals because they're called goals. Yeah. It looks like they do have season goals. Um, yeah, the goals seem, but better or robotics isn't a good goal because it's not quantifiable. Um, worlds qualifying for worlds is quantifiable, but it doesn't look like they have a lot. Unlike high skill score, not quantifiable, good reputation, not quantifiable, and it doesn't look like they have a lot of justification for these goals. So I'd say they have it, but it's lacking detail or justification, and they kind of have the goals. So this is probably I don't know. It's definitely fully developed because they're not in that category right there. I'm just looking at my time. I've already gone through about 3 minutes. Oof. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I'll probably go ahead and give it probably like a 2. It doesn't really have any analysis or depth to it. All right. Let's go to brainstorming. Yeah, because I think that was the orange. All right, looks like they have, they do have multiple solutions. It doesn't look like these are from outside sources. Um, it's kind of hard to figure out what's corresponding. I think it's the top one corresponds with the chart beneath it. So parking with two bots. Okay, so those are kind of fine. Decision matrix. They do have explanation of their decision matrix, which is fine. I would have liked to see some diagrams for these. All right, decision matrix. It's kind of hard to see which one here. I think this is vertical. Um, yeah, so like highlighting would be nice. Okay, I think 71, so it looks like blocks is their main strategy. I'm not sure why. Oh, they have each different for different people on the team. Okay. And then maybe they average them out. Yeah, it looks like they average them out. Um, all right, so basically just coming up with priorities here. That's more of like criteria for game analysis. But they do at least have something. All right, problem for identify the drivetrain. Ah, this is a little bit better. So yeah, they have constraints for their drivetrain. See if they have some brainstorming for drivetrain. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, I might. Um, Again, these goals just are not quantifiable. Like, must be fast enough. I would like to see a number for speed right there. I have about 5 minutes left. Just looking at the clock. Um, just checking citations. All right, yeah, citations are good throughout this. Probably won't have to take off any points there. Oh yeah, so they have like their sketches, they have pros, cons, description. Looks like they have lots of different solutions here. I think that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that's probably good. A little bit more detail would probably be good here. Like, there's a lot more to a swerve drive than just this. But I mean, yeah, I mean they hit expert. It just doesn't have a lot of depth. So I'll probably go ahead and give them a 4 there. Select decision matrices. Yeah, same thing. I mean, they don't really explain what each of these criteria are, or like if there's any weightings behind them, like why some things are more important than others. And like how I don't really know how each like Swerve Drive, it doesn't really talk about how it responds to defense. So I don't know. It doesn't say anything about when like defense there, so I'm not sure how Swerve is scoring on defense. Like it doesn't explain that logic very well. They are using decision matrices, which is fine, although it doesn't automatically get them into the expert category anymore. So it's probably in like the 2-3. Um, they have a little bit of explanation here, which is probably nice. So I'll probably give that like a 2.5. Oops, I did not think that through about decimals. Oh well. Um, yeah, that's just, I'll fix that later. Um, all right, so yeah, brainstorming. All right, it looks like those are not good sketches, but whatever. Looks like this is all similar levels of content. That'll factor in for repeat when I'm looking back at those things there. All right, let's move on to get some build entries in. Ah, here we go. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, these build entries are not good. Unless I missed something dramatic. But yeah, like this is bad because like um it doesn't even have like steps to record it. So this would probably be in like the emerging category right here. Um, yeah, it's just lacking detail. I'll check the prog because I usually average those out. And maybe they have some better build entries later on. Um, oh, that's weird. Is this just like out of order? That's 711. This is 71584. Um, I mean, I guess maybe it's just prototyping. I'll look at their steps here. Maybe they have some more detail here. Um, oh, okay, so that's a little bit better. It's just kind of confusing. Like you're lacking so much detail there, which is not good. Um, CAD pictures and stuff are fine for build as long as you have. I would probably prefer a little bit more real stuff intermixed. Um, yeah, I don't see anything crazy in there. Um, it's like this is fine. I mean, they've had like the key steps, but it doesn't really explain any of the logic behind this. Um, so like key steps, but lack sufficient detail for the reader to follow their process. So, since the first stuff was so bad, I'll probably average this out to like a 2. Um, that's because there's no logic here for these build steps. Time, I have about 7 minutes left. Test solution. All right. Okay, so testing, I'm looking for recording steps, a methodology. Looks like it's all done by the team, and then conclusions are drawn. So it looks like the situation, they're explaining what their problem is, hypothesis, procedure. So like match-like vibrations, we will drop the chassis a height of 8 inches onto the wooden floor. After we drop, we'll measure the distance between the C-channel and the nylock nut using a ruler, using up to a 32nd of an inch. Okay. Listing out their variables, that's fine. Procedure methodology. It looks like they didn't, such lame data, but whatever. Okay, so looks like their testing is fine and they're drawing a conclusion that it's fine. I would like to see some testing of things that don't work quite as well. Yeah, looks like they have citations for those brainstorming. Although this is probably not quite as good because like it lacks the pros and cons, if that makes sense. Um, but at least citations are good. Yeah, like I would like to see more details on like what is this? Like change up all the robots are pretty much identical. Like these teams aren't really using different ideas, just slightly different implementations, really. Um, yeah, build that doesn't. I'm not seeing anything here that looks significantly better or worse. This is maybe a little bit better. Um, Probably not enough to warrant increasing the select up to a 3 though. If the first one had been like that, maybe I would give them a 3. Um, Hoarding, okay, this all looks similar quality. Um, yeah, I still have quantity. Oh, I don't see citations for this guy. Maybe 24. Okay. Um, I want to see some more testing right here because the testing that I got wasn't great. Like in terms of just, I don't know if it felt specific, but it doesn't look like there is any more testing in the notebook there other than, oh, yeah, it's just that one entry. Um, yeah, so just dropping the robot for testing. I mean, it's like, it's not the worst thing ever. Like they record key steps. I would probably give this like a 2.5. Nothing major. And the repeat design process, it looks like they haven't even finished their first design process yet, so it's going to be pretty low. I mean, they do have some things like they do brainstorming for multiple aspects of the robot design, so I mean, that's not going to be like a 0. But I didn't really see much like setbacks or failures that seem to be overcome. I'm just checking and seeing if they had to go back and change anything later on, which is just to be expected for first competition notebooks. That's why I recommend teams at least build one robot before they actually take it to a competition if they're trying to do well. It's good for notebook and it just helps you work out the kinks. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any like going back through the design process. Um, so I would probably, I mean, they have some repeat, so it's not like a 0. I'll probably give this a 1, and then let's go through real quick. Independent inquiry. It looks like their citations were all perfectly fine. I did not see any issues there, so 5 there. Usability and completeness. Um, I mean, the notebook it's fairly readable. They don't have any issues. They're actually using grid, which is nice. A lot of teams when they use grid, they don't line things up with the grid, so it's easy to read. Clarity, the detail is a little bit lacking, especially on the build steps, so I probably can't give it too high. It's probably gonna go in like I'll probably give it 2.5, middle of the road. Originality and quality, most of the stuff is original, and the stuff that isn't all seems to have proper citations, so this is probably gonna score quite well. Um, just because like most of the stuff, whenever possible, I think they tried to do like their own sketches and stuff, so that's good. Um, yeah, it's just they're gonna not. I'll give them a 4.5. Like they would be perfect, but they do have some outside sources, so I can't give it a 5 because it specifically says most or all the content is original submitting team members. But you can't really get around that unless you did everything yourself. Um, Table of contents seem to be fine. Let me just double check that. A small formatting thing there, but like table of contents seems fine. Let me just check it's up to date. 111 and 828. Those are appendices. 828, 111. Yeah, table of contents looks fine. They got their color coding, so that's good. I didn't see any extraneous content that I wouldn't consider part of the design process, so I'll give them a 5 there. Team and project management definitely was probably one of the weaker categories. I did not see anything like I saw some budget stuff right at the beginning, I think, but I did not see like any Gantt charts. And I think it specifically says like you're referencing back to these throughout the notebook. I did not see any of those. I only have about 2 minutes left though to look. Um, Trying to find like budget things because I thought I saw something for that. No, maybe not. Um, Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe like calendar. Nope. Gantt charts. Nope. Um, Meeting notes. Goals, decisions. They had like very briefly goals. I kind of went over those. Goals is on here twice. Decisions, accomplishments. I really didn't see any of those. Design cycles are all fairly easily identified though, because I mean they just have one. And then the dates and contributing students all seem to be perfectly fine there. Um, so I would say probably significant gaps. Um, but they were having some stuff, like they have some stuff from here, like they do have evidence of dates, but they don't really have most of the stuff on the left. So I will probably give that in between, so a 1.5. Um, and yeah, I have about 45 seconds left, so I will probably just call that because that's uh, close enough, I think, within like 10%. So yeah, I think I will call that there. I'm going to stop my time. Um, all right, so some overall thoughts. Let me just go and like change the font to be smaller. That way the 2.5s are a bit more easily readable. All right, let's change that down to 14. Um, and then yeah, let me just tally this up with like a calculator real quick. All right, so assuming I didn't type anything wrong to the calculator, and if I did, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll pin you if I did my math wrong. But it looks like a 32.5, which like that's not like a terrible score, but it's not a good score either. Like this notebook, um, like if this were at a SIG, I would look at it and I wouldn't really look at it again. There's nothing in here that stands out to me and I wouldn't nominate it for any awards. I mean, if we're talking like this is a random local competition and they're the only team that met the Excellence Award criteria, I would probably be fine with them getting the Excellence Award. It's like it's not a terrible notebook, but it's also not a great notebook. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to them. But that's just kind of the general process of how I would go through and I would grade a notebook. So I hope you learned lots. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.